Have you ever been out and like I know filling out an application, a credit application or something in the occupation, and, you
A
put,
credit application, a magician.
and they always look at me like, really? Like, but the number one thing they say to me is, "Oh, my kids would love to see you." Like that always bothers me.
Me
'Cause,
too. Me too.
Yeah,
People think that sometimes that's that stigma we got to fight. Is that they think that we're just that the art is for kids, and
bunny out of the hat. And all
that's
that
that's
stuff.
when I flip it. That's when I like to flip it on them. And that's when you go after the adults and you blow their mind and bring them back to
Right.
what they felt like when they were kids seeing magic. And
Major pet peeve of mine is people come out and say, "My kids love the show," and well, what about you?
there you go.
But yeah, because they just picture magicians with the top hat, with all that, and I'm sure you get the same comments all the time. Cut my wife in half, make somebody disappear, all that sort of stuff, and it's annoying, isn't it?
Well, that's what's also been cool about the Revolutionists is we have had a lot of people come up to us and say, "This is not what we expected at all." Because
Yeah.
I think they're thinking, "Oh, it's going to be a magic show. The kids will like it," and sometimes they'll get tickets for the kids, and then you'll see it most of the time. It is the adults, the parents walking out, being like, "Wow, we didn't expect this. This was a great time, best show that we've had this week," and that's been cool.
Right, right. Now, what kind of background did you have? Were you in high school, let's say? Were you shy? Were you?
I'm actually a really mellow guy. I'm very easygoing. And in high school, yeah, I played a lot of sports growing up. I played a lot of sports, and that kept me very busy, and that was my social release too. But I was not the kind of guy that needed or wanted a lot of attention either. I was just kind of whatever. I was an easygoing guy,
Yeah.
and for some reason though, magic, whenever I would perform, it was just that one time where I was like, okay, now it's a party. I'm hosting it. I'm leading the party. I'm going to make sure everybody has a good time. Let's do this.
Right.
And it just, that was me. My personality would be, maybe I'm a 5 on a normal day hanging out, and that was just me dialed up, and it's just always kind of been that way.
So would you say that on stage that's you, or is it a character?
It absolutely is me. I mean, I fully understand my character on stage, who I am on stage, but that character is just me.
It's you.
Just dialed up a little bit. That's really all it is.
Because so many people around here that I've talked to, they're completely different off stage.
Really?
Yeah, and the public, Branson's unique in that you'll see the performers just hanging out at, shopping and at Walmart and stuff like that. I thought that was weird the first time I came here and stuff. I wasn't used to that. But people expect you to be on all the time. And I found that to be a problem.
Really?
Yeah, because my onstage personality is
Totally different?
It's
Really?
not my offstage personality. And so people always think that I'm angry at them or I'm rude. Or I don't know. It's hard to explain. So, I mean, that's great if that's you on stage. That works out perfectly.
I think I'm pretty lucky that way, and that it is me. But because I'm a little more mellow, I think if I ever was to maybe confuse somebody, it might be, they do expect maybe a little bit more, high energy. But I'm still very I'm always grateful to meet people that have seen the show and just, they can still tell it's me. I'm just not I'm not necessarily as animated.
You're not in a straitjacket.
Yeah, I'm not a straitjacket.
Normally.
I'm not hanging upside down. And
Yeah. Now, doing the straitjacket, do you ever, you don't have the audience. Do they buckle you in? I don't remember.
We've done different variations. Right now in the show, like if you came tonight, I bring a guy up on stage. He does get locked up in the thumb cuffs for that version, but for the jaws portion, because right now we're using a posy straitjacket, it's just so difficult to explain to them how to lock me up. It takes so long that we do have them inspected thoroughly just to show that it's solid, and we had 2 of our guys lock me up and lock me up, and it's snug. He also, the volunteer also, we walk him around the jaws, make sure he inspects it, checks it all out. But we have, for a good part of the season, had someone actually lock me up in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Because that can always be entertaining too.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. 'Cause I've seen some pretty entertaining things with that, getting the people up there. But I've also seen where, like you said, sometimes they can't figure it out. And it ends up taking longer than the escape, a lot longer than the escape.
And we're trying to keep it pretty snug right now because we're adding new routines and whatnot. But we've definitely had, a little bit of a comedy approach to locking up and it gets entertaining. Sometimes we've had literally 4 people up there helping get me in it, and it can be fun going that route. And we may still bring that back. We'll see.
Have you ever had any issues actually getting out? Have you had any problems?
I've had some adventures.
Yeah.
Sure. There was a show, we were doing a 3-night run, actually, at Cal State, and the jacket got locked up in just a certain way where it was just very, very difficult for me to get out. I was also operating with, I use restraint mitts. I think I'm the only escape artist in the world that I've ever seen do it. I don't know of anyone else that is, but I have escape mitts, and there's plates in them and everything, and I actually was having so much trouble getting out and putting so much force on it that I snapped one of the plates in the jacket, and it just took a lot of extra work. And it was also timed to music, so I can get out pretty quick, and it was about 3 minutes in, and I was out of music. And so what I did instead was there was no music. I was sweating everywhere. It was kind of awkward for a slight moment. I don't know if the audience felt that, but I felt it. So then I just stood up and I just said, "I need your help, guys." And then I started hitting the ground with my foot. And I said, I got them clapping with like a beat. And I knew I was close to figuring it out. And then I got out, threw it down, and it just worked out really well. But I was nervous.
Yeah, that's one problem, having the audience buckle you in. Every once in a while you'll get somebody